Hello everyone, I'm Hannah Lovegrove, your teacher for this morning. So as this is one of the early classes in this month-long sequence, in fact, they're more like practice classes, it's not even June yet, so well done all of you for taking part and getting going so promptly. We're going to start with a few moments of sitting. So you've got a chair, the options, chair, bolster, something high, folded blanket or brick blocks. What you need to remember when you sit is that as soon as we go down and bring the feet into cross leg position or soles of feet together, whatever it is, the knees come up. And the degree to which they come up will depend on the stiffness in your hips. So you need to take a height that allows for that. If that's a chair, that's absolutely fine. If you can sit on the floor and your knees release comfortably, again, absolutely fine. But find a height where when you sit cross-legged, your knees are more or less in line with your hips. So there's no lifting and therefore tension and tightness. As soon as the knees come up, the lower back tends to collapse. And that's something quite a few of us have to watch out for, especially the flexible ones. And those with any back issues, sit high. So cross your legs with your right shin in front and see if you can wiggle your feet under the opposite knee. For those of you sitting on the chair, bring your knees and feet a comfortable distance or together and have your feet fall square on the floor. Now that means if your chair is taller than you, taller than the height of your knees to your soles of your feet, you'll need to put some support under your feet. You want to feel comfortable, not that your legs are dangling. And the soles of your feet can be flat on the floor. So sit tall. Now, if you bring your fingertips over the ends of your knees, and it's the same wherever you're sitting, and give a little pull, you'll feel you can move your back ribs in and lift and open your top chest. So immediately you feel that the spine is more straight. You can take the head back to sit comfortably over that line of the spine, over the axis of gravitation there. And your face is looking straight forwards. Now, just keep your eyes open for a moment. When you bring your palms together, I want you to do so without disturbing your upper arms. So if you slide your hands back up to the middle of your thighs, roll your shoulders back and open your chest, and then simply bring your palms slowly and carefully together. So there's no rolling forwards of the shoulders, there's no pushing forward of the elbows. The elbows and the upper arms stay back, the chest stays lifting, and the fingers aren't pointing upwards. If you point your fingers upwards, you'll feel a tension in your wrist. So the tips of the fingers, the hands, need to be in line with the forearms. Close your eyes. And take a slow, smooth inhalation, exhalation. Don't force it, just allow it to deepen slightly. Relax the skin and the muscles of your face. Relax your jaw. Allow your shoulders to release down and your chest to lift up. And after 2 or 3 slow, smooth inhalations and exhalations, release your hands down onto your thighs, open your eyes, and stretch your legs forwards. Now, I deliberately gave you the instruction to start with your right shin in front. We have preferences. We have preferences for which way we clasp. We have preferences for which way we cross. And one of the things that we like to do in yoga is see if we can work through those preferences until either side becomes a natural choice. So now you're going to take your left shin in front, hands on the knees, sit tall. So for those of you who just joined, this is what we were doing. And turn to the right. Bring your left hand onto your right knee, the right hand behind you. Inhale, and as you exhale, turn a little further. Keep the shoulders down and the chest up. Take another breath in and out, and as you exhale, come back to the center. Pause for a moment, relax the jaw, relax the face. Observing all the time the little habits that creep in as we move. Turn to the left. Right hand on left knee, spine tall, crown of the head directly above the tailbone, the shoulders broad. So tuck the left shoulder blade in and open that left side of the chest. Tuck the right shoulder blade in and roll the right shoulder back. Inhale, exhale, come back to the center. And then stretch your legs forwards. And once more, we're going to change the cross. Those of you on the chairs, you're keeping your feet down on the floor and you're doing what we call parshva, turning. Simply turning to one side, this time to the right. Keeping the spine straight. And if you feel so inclined and your shoulders have released enough, you can turn the head a little more. And then come back to the center. Pause, observe. How does that feel? Where are you noticing the effects? And then turn to the other side. Right hand on left knee. Inhale, lift the chest, lift the spine, broaden the shoulders. Exhale, turn the head. And then come back to the center and stretch your legs forwards. And then come up to standing. So those of you with balance issues, you've got your chair, you can have the chair beside you to keep a hand on it, or in front of you, both hands, whatever you feel you need. And if you're not standing, absolutely fine, stay on the chair and have yourself a belt or a piece of cloth. Now, we've got some tips for those of you who've got health issues. The booking system allows you to tell us anything that you're concerned about. And one of the tips for high blood pressure, for instance, is don't raise the arms above shoulder height and hold them there. If we're doing any work with the arms up, this sort of thing, keep your hands on your hips. You'll notice you can still get that opening for the chest and the lift of the side trunk, but the shoulders are down, elbows slightly back. You have your thumbs behind and your fingers in front. If all of you, I'd like you to try this and you'll understand why we're picky about silly little details, apparently silly little details like that. Everybody put your hands on your hips. Broaden your shoulders, lift your chest, just like we did now for Vrksasana, for cross legs. Feel the quality of the shoulders, the opening of the chest. You've got your fingers forward and your thumbs back. Now turn your hands over. Fingers back, thumbs forward. Can you feel it changes it? Everything changes in the top chest. So I'm saying fingers forward, it allows the shoulder blades to go down the back, front chest to lift. Everyone else, take your hands out to the side, turn your palms to the ceiling, take your shoulder blades down. Now, those of you not raising your hands, you can come to this level, maintain that for a few moments, work on taking the shoulder blades and the shoulder muscles down, and then bring your hands back onto your waist again. Others, take your arms up. Feel the point at which the shoulders start to lift and the neck begins to sink. Extend, extend through the inner arms, lock the elbows. Bring the hands down, so backs of the hands are facing the floor, palms are facing the ceiling. Stretch through from fingertip to fingertip, then turn the palms and bring the arms down. And take a breath in and out. Right, let's add the legs into that. So have a look down at your feet. Some of you will be working with your feet apart. Some of you just hip width to allow for that extra stability. Some of you will be comfortable with your feet together. All of you lift your toes up. Pull your toes up and have a look at them. Now, as you put them down, can you put them down separately? Little toe, next toe, next toe, next toe, next toe. Come into the big toes and see if you can bring your big toes together if your feet are together. And then try that once more. Lift your toes, separate them, and put them down. You know how cramped our poor little foot skeletons must be in shoes all the time? Well, one of the things you can do in your practice is you can get down there and you can put your fingers between your toes and spread them out as if, stick them to the mat as if you were wearing toe separators. Toe separators are a gift. You can walk around the house in them for a little bit. But if you can get your toenails to face the ceiling and do that every time, you'll give all of those complicated little joints most wonderful refresh, at least once a day. Right, ball of the big toe down, outer heel down. Now I've been getting you to highlight the outer chip of the knee. Those of you with knee problems who are standing at the moment, this will be quite a relief for them. So you take the outer chip of the knee back and lift the inner knee up, and you'll feel the whole of your thigh come to attention. Outer thighs gripped in, hips gripped in. Those of you on the seat, get your legs working. Grip your hips, because from that grip comes the freedom in the spine. And then extend the arms, everyone. So legs working, hips gripped, spine lifting, shoulders down. Can you spread the trapezius muscles down and out from left to left and right to right? Turn the palms, keep the shoulder blades down. You can feel the shoulder blades involved in that movement. Now suck up the trapezius muscle. That's the muscle underneath the upper arm. Suck that up and then raise the arms up. Keep the shoulders down, head tall, neck long. Only go as far as your shoulders will allow. It's first thing in the morning. Some of you might find you're a little bit stiffer at this time of day and you need a bit more space. Take the thumbs back, lift the chest more, press your thighs back, lift your abdomen up, and then bring the arms down and release the pose. Great. Now then, let's take that to one side. We're going to work with the feet a little further apart. Some of you will have a chair in front for the balance. But I'm going to show without this morning. What you're going to do is take your feet as wide as you can and then look down at them. You want the outer edge of your foot parallel to the outer edge of your mat. And I can see one or two of you need to make that adjustment. Swing your heels out. Outer edge of foot parallel. Remember the change that came when I gave you that other little instruction? You'll get the same change here. When you turn your hands over, the chest starts to drop. So your fingers are forwards for hands on hips. Same thing with the feet. If your toes are closer to the short edge of your mat than your heels, your belly will be dropping forwards. Bring your toes in or swing your heels out. Lift your thighs, tailbone forwards, lift your chest, shoulders down. Take your arms out once more. Now focus on that outer chip of the knee and swing slightly to the right, swing slightly to the left. I hope you've got room. If you haven't got room, bring your hands on your hips and do that. Swing to the right, swing to the left a couple of times. And then come back to the center. Now, as you swing to the right, I want you to lift your legs, lift the muscles up, feel the feet pressing into the floor, lift the thighs up, fix the outer left knee where it is, Outer left knee stays where it is. Now swing. You feel how much harder that leg has to work as you turn. We'd call that the back leg. As you swing to the left, fix the outer right knee where it is. Don't let it swivel. Try that a couple more times. Outer left knee as you turn to the right, make it strong. Outer right knee as you turn to the left, make it strong. And then come back to the center, heel and toe, and step your feet together. So that leg that we were fixing is the back leg when we do one of those lateral poses where we turn the body or we bend the front knee or we do a Vrksasana over to the side. We need to get that anchor point for the spine to be able to move comfortably. So we're going to do Vrksasana now. Those of you who need to, if you've got a chair, you'll find you've got a much easier platform to put your top hand on, and it'll also help with your balance. So you're going to step your feet wide and turn your right leg out. So see, I've got my hands on my hips. You can jump if you're jumping, by all means. I'm showing for the new girls here, new chaps. Now, fix the outer left knee back, pull the right thigh up, stretch over to the right, bring the right hand down and the left arm up. Now your legs will feel really strong. Some of you need to take a wider stride. See if you could just heel and toe that back foot back a little bit more. That's it. And be aware if you've dropped your head down. Keep your head in line with your spine. And then press into both feet to come up, hands on the hips, turn your right foot in, bring your legs together. And then we're going to go to the other side. I'm just swapping over. So you can see, step your feet wide, hands on the hips or extend your arms, turn your left leg out, hook the outer right knee back. You need to glue it to the wall behind you and only focus on that as you extend over and down. You'll find it's a great comfort. And again, one or two of you could heel and toe your foot back, the right foot back a little bit to get a wider stride. And lift strongly the front left thigh up. Can you turn your chest to face the front? Good. Press into both feet, come up, turn the left foot in, jump or step the legs together. And then stand and have a breath or two in and out. Now, we're going to look at Adho Mukha Vrksasana. This is a lovely pose. I'll show you the classic pose and then I'll show you the variations for those of you who need it, because this highlights knee issues, and we've got a few knee issues in the class. So, classic pose is big toes together, knees wide, and you try and keep your hips on your heels, and you come forwards and slowly extend and take the head down. So, those of you with knee issues, you've got choices. If it's mild, or if you find you get this far but you can't make contact, then fill up the gap. You can use a folded blanket. You can use a bolster. Now, if you've got high height here, don't try taking your head to the floor. You'd be better off taking a brick for your head. You want to have a horizontal spine, don't you? You don't want it falling downwards. Now, those of you on chairs, or if you're on a very high lift, let's say you've got a very high lift under here, you may find that actually resting your head on a chair is better. And for those of you sitting, what I'm trying to show you is how to modify, but to retain the essence of the pose. So those of you who are sitting, you can have a table or you can extend up the wall. This is a nice way of doing it. Can you see the back is still in the same shape here as it was when I was on the floor? So pick your pose. Sorry, technical hitch, someone had become unmuted. Now from there, those of you who are on the floor, you're going to go into Adho Vrksasana, dog pose. So if you've got just a small amount of height, you can tuck your toes and come up into Adho Vrksasana. And then come down, Adho Vrksasana. So do that 2 or 3 times in your own time. Those of you on the chair, you could do your Adho Vrksasana this way. Bring your hands onto the seat. You can put it against a wall for safety. Hands on the seat, step your legs back and stretch your spine. Those of you who are hypermobile have got that deep curve in the lower back. Be very careful to draw the abdominal muscles strongly up towards the spine and grip the shoulders in. Hypermobility requires a sense of gripping. It's actually quite difficult to learn. And then when you've all done a dog pose, come back down and sit on your heels or sit on your chair. Okay, so you can do this next section from wherever you are, either sitting on sitting on the heels, sitting on the chair. I'll show it here. What I want you to do is to focus entirely on the top chest. So if you're on the chair, come right onto the edge of it, like this. Bring your hands behind, roll your shoulders back, and get this feeling that you can move your shoulder blades down and in. You might find you want to bend your elbows to get a really good curve. So you're making this movement here. The ears, no, the shoulders don't come up towards the ears. The back ribs move in, top chest lifts, abdomen stays back. That's key, especially those of you with hypermobility or low back issues. Abdomen stays back. Have a couple of goes at that. If you're sitting on your heels, you can walk the hands slightly back and then move the back ribs in. Now, if you've got any eye issues, that's another key factor. Don't throw your head back and don't roll your eyes. Keep your eyes looking forwards, but just take the chin up so that the eyes stay in a natural alignment with the front of the face. So you're not adding to any pressure. Rolling the shoulders back, stretching the arms down, move the shoulder blades in and lift the chest up. This is the beginnings of backward extension. You can feel that, can't you? Everyone come back up and have a look here, and I'll show you what we're going to do next. So we're going to go into a pose called Vrksasana. And we can do this in a hugely energetic way. We can also do this pose in a very, very recuperative way. I love it. The profile of the pose is that the arms are back, the chest is forward, and the legs are straight. So those of you on the chair, you're going to do the pose like that. Those of you on the floor, Going to do it with your legs bent, hands back, and you're going to lift yourself up like this. Okay? So, pick your pose, chair or floor. I come to sitting, and then those of you on the floor, bend your knees and walk your hands back behind your hips. Now pause there for a moment. Remember that work we've done to get the armpits and the side chest free. Roll your shoulders back, lift your chest up. Now you'll feel those back ribs and the shoulder blades moving in. Shoulder blades go down, back ribs move in. Head stays in line with spine. So you're not throwing your head back at all. Then push into your feet, push into your hands, lift your hips up. Your gaze may lift a little towards the ceiling, but it's not going back down the wall behind you. Draw your abdomen close to your spine and lift your buttocks strongly up. You'll feel this in your arms, but it's fantastic work for the arms. Move the center of your buttocks in, lift the chest, and then slowly swing down and release. Now I'm going to show you another method because you may watch this video tomorrow or over the weekend and you may have found that difficult. You might find it easy, I don't know. But I'll show you another method because that can allow you to take your time in the pose, especially if you've got stiff shoulders. Get a height like 3 or 4 yoga blocks. It needs to be firm. This sort of height needs to be firm, so you're not wobbling about. You bring your hips onto the height, and then it's as if you're trying to walk your hips off because you want to put your sacrum down on that lift. And then you've got a chance to walk your hands back and carry out that action, trying to straighten the arms, lifting the backs of the arms up, but you haven't got the pressure of lifting up from the floor. So if that's better for you, take that option now and let's all repeat this once more. Sit on your lift or on the floor, walk your hands back, see if you can free your armpits. Open that part of the chest that's trapped just between your upper arm and your chest and lift it up towards the ceiling. Keep the back of the neck long, shoulder blades deeply in, and then press into your feet and lift up. Some of you might be happy just keeping the bottom down on the lift, on the chair. See if you can keep the face relaxed, head in line with spine, center buttock in, lifting the buttock crease up, and then slowly come down and release your arms. Sit tall. And wherever you are, whatever you're sitting on, have your feet slightly apart. Turn to the right. Inhale, exhale. Come back to the center. Inhale and exhale. And as you exhale, turn to the left. Right hand over left knee, left hand behind. And then come back to the center and repeat that once more. Pajva, turning to the right, keeping the spine straight and the shoulders down, chest lifting. And then pause when you get to the center, don't just swing around, but observe what's happening. Because we're two-sided animals, aren't we? So left and right sides aren't always capable or willing to do the same thing. And then come back to the center. Okay, last one. Now, clear your decks. So have a nice clear mat. And if you've got a wall or something you can push your feet into, take the short edge of your mat towards the wall. And then just have a quick look here. Let's keep it simple. So you start with bent knees. Remember, I showed this in the last class. When we roll down, we start with bent knees. It's that protects our lower back. And it also means that we're the right length when we get to the floor. If you watch this, if I start with straight legs, I've got my heels right aligned with the back edge of my mat. If you don't believe me, try it. When I lie down, my heels slide up the mat and my head's now off the other end. Whereas if I put my feet on the edge of the mat and roll down with bent legs, when I extend, I'm still in the middle of my mat. So same is true when we want to push our feet into the wall. We start with bent legs, we roll down, tuck the shoulders under, and then push your feet into the wall. Lift your head, have a look, make sure they're vertical, and either slightly apart if you've got back issues, or together. Now, those of you with lower back issues, make sure you've got a comfortable curve. It is not natural to try and pull the lumbar spine down towards the floor. If you do that, your thighs lift up, which is counterproductive. The thighs should go down, the chest should lift, and the lumbar forms a natural curve in between the two. Keep the abdomen towards the spine, arms down by your sides, shoulders away from your ears, and your neck long. Take a breath in, raise your arms up, and hold your elbows, fold your arms. Push your feet into the wall and stretch your elbows over your head. Just to the capacity that you can. If you're sitting on the chair, you can do this and take the arms up. And those of you with high blood pressure, as you're lying down, this is much more comfortable for you. And then raise the elbows up and change the link. You'll notice one forearm is on top of the other. So straighten your arms and bring the top forearm in first and then the bottom forearm. You're gripping your elbows really. Push your feet into the wall and extend your elbows away. You'll feel a really pleasant abdominal massage as the abdomen stretches and shrinks towards the spine. And then if you inhale and lift the chest, the whole of the diaphragm and the rib cage is highlighted. You're really improving your lung capacity. And as you exhale, bring the arms back over, bend your knees and release. So we're going to do Shavasana now. If you need to put something warm on or have a lift under your head to make yourself comfortable, then do that now. And prepare yourself for a few moments of quiet. Be in the middle of the mat, roll yourself down, give a little push with your feet to draw the skin and the superficial muscles, the shoulder blades down your back to open your chest. And then one at a time, extend your legs away, let your feet fall apart. Let the backs of your hands find the floor. Release the weight of your body completely into the floor. So those of you that can stay here longer, please do so. I'll finish the class for everyone now. Thanks for joining, and I hope to see you all again soon.